These will be brought forward for their third reading and approval at the January 18th board meeting. The second item that we received a report on was a technology update, and we were provided with a brief update on some of the IT projects and operations occurring in the district. Some of these are a setting of conditions to support the new strategic plan, and the areas covered in the report were a review of general operations, the function of the service desk and its ticketing system, an update on the Oracle Business Intelligence and School Performance Analysis project, and the Voice over Internet Protocol telephone system updates being made in the district. There's a recommended motion that the Board of Education receive the IT report with thanks, and we will vote on that motion.
Mm-hmm. So you indicate this is the recommendation from the Committee of the Board.
The recommendation from the Committee of the Board is that the Board of Education receive the IT report with thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. That is a motion and a recommendation coming out of the committee. It does not require a second. We will vote.
Ms. Street Stewart?
Yes.
Ms. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Broderick?
Yes.
Thank you very much. That motion has been approved.
All right. And the last item that we discussed in depth at the Committee of the Board meeting was the Strong Schools, Strong Communities Plan. The superintendent reviewed the various groups to whom she had presented the plan. This is a new strategic plan covering the next 3 years with the goal of improving academic results for all students without exception or excuse. The plan focuses clearly on the needs of students. All of the resources are directed at delivering effective education in every classroom, in every school. It does not allow schools to be distracted by competing interests. The plan calls for consistent curriculum and standards throughout the district. The Chief of Staff reviewed the goals and expectations of the plan and noted the community meetings that have been scheduled, which we will repeat later in the meeting. There was a standing item that had been covered above on school and program changes, and the board went into a work session at that point to discuss assignments for outside representation. And there was a recommended motion made at the Committee of the Board meeting that the Board of Education retain the assignments for representation to outside committees and organizations as currently made for the coming year, unless the assigned person, okay, second page, pages don't want to come apart, unless the representative expresses interest in discontinuing their representation to a specific group. That was easy to say.
Okay, we have the motion before us as a recommendation from the Committee of the Board. We will vote on this now.
Ms. Street Stewart?
Yes.
Ms. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Broderick?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So now you know what those initial assignments are for the year. Great. Okay, please continue.
And then the last item that we discussed was board listening sessions. And we had, since there is a public information session on Strong Schools, Strong Community Plan scheduled for January 27th, the board listening session that had been scheduled for that day has been rescheduled to March 31st, 2011 at 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the same location, Hancock Hamlin Elementary School. And we also determined that the April 21st session to be held at Ames Sheridan will continue on that date.
That concludes
That concludes the minutes.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from January 11th?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We will vote.
Ms. Street Stewart?
Yes.
Ms. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Broderick?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Those also have now been approved and are part of our permanent record. At this time, we will move to the portion of our board meeting where we always look forward to being able to present outstanding work by individuals and programs. At this time, I will turn to the superintendent so she can begin the introduction of our recognitions for this evening. Superintendent Silva.
Madam Chair, members of the board, and all the public that is here today. Tonight I'm very happy to share with you our monthly recognition for students, schools, staff, and partners. At this time, I will call on the Chief Academic Officer, Ms. Dr. Kate Wilcock-Harris, who will begin with the presentation at this point of our recognition. Thank you.
Well, good evening, Dr. Wilcox-Harris.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Directors of the Board, Superintendent Silva, and esteemed colleagues. Please join me in acknowledging the good work provided by outstanding district partnerships. I'd like to invite Tracy Gower, Kathy Kittle, Renee Altman, and Jeff Tofson, to join me up here. Genesis Works, an SPPS partnership program, won the prestigious 2010 Techne Award from the Minnesota High Tech Association. The program won in the category of Innovative Collaboration of the Year. Genesis Works began in St. Paul in 2008 to provide paid internships, college access skills, and IT training for underserved students in St. Paul. This year, there are 55 high school students participating in Genesis Works. 3 SPPS employees responsible for the success of the program include our own Kathy Kittle, Program Manager for Career and Technical Education, Tracy Gower, Director of ALC, and Renee Altman, Secondary Project Coordinator for the district. We would also like to recognize Jeff Tolfson and Beth Moncrief from Genesis Works, Twin Cities, for partnering with SPPS to bring these students this wonderful opportunity.
Now, as you know, it's been our practice to come down and shake hands, so we can do that now and then return to our seats for the next set. Sounds good. Sure. We'll do that.
And now if I could ask the following individuals to stand at their seats and then join us once we're through reading. Seamus Adam, would you stand at your seat? And Angelique Tetrol, and Yang Bi Zhang. All right. Why don't you join us? I know I was told not to, but I'd love to have you up front so everyone can see you. Seamus Adam, a student at Central Senior High School, was awarded $10,000 from the Student Integrity Scholarship from the Better Business Bureau for an essay she composed. It is sponsored by Best Buy. These scholarships are designed to recognize and promote ethics and integrity in the community's youth. The BBB awarded one $10,000 and one $5,000 scholarship to 2 students who demonstrated an understanding of the impact of ethical choices. Scholarship money is awarded directly to winners' post-secondary education expenses at any accredited institution. The following is an excerpt from Seamus Adams' essay. I believe it is the fundamental right of every human being in this world to be given an opportunity to attain his or her education in spite of their gender. I am building a different kind of future for myself and leaving behind footprints for my younger siblings to follow. Angelique Tetrol and Yang Bi Zhang, both 5th graders at Como Park School, won a grand prize in the National Park Service poster contest. Students from the Como Elementary School have been participating in the Big River Journey, sponsored by the National Park Service, for many years. Students learn history and science of the Mississippi River through classroom and field trip activities. One component of the program is a poster contest, which promotes our mighty Mississippi. Como has had many years of multiple winners in this annual art competition. Winning artists attend a fall reception at the Science Museum of Minnesota, where their work will be on display for a year. In future years, their work travels to various National Park Service sites throughout Minnesota. And then kudos to 12 SPPS senior high students who are each receiving $1,500 college scholarship from the Optimist Club of St. Paul. The club's longtime scholarship drive rewards promising high school youth from low-income families who are overcoming tough odds. Their inspiring stories were recently featured in the Pioneer Press, and the winners include, and I hope you will join me and the others up front, Amira Gill from Central, Sa Lee from Como Park, Kyle Ryder from Harding, So from Harding, Julia Vang from Harding, Kali Vang from Harding, Mai Chu Vang from Harding, Mai Richards from Highland Park, Francilia Dennis from Johnson, Mong Her from Johnson, Arthur Nguyen from Johnson, and Pang Hua Tao from Johnson. Congratulations.
You mentioned it. Please, college application and job
And I would ask to be joined by Christine Schweitenberg, Sarah Benedict, Chris Hilgert, Wendy Aro, Ann Uzendowski, Jill Wall, and Liz Parr Smested. Madam Chair, Directors of the Board, Superintendent Silva, and esteemed colleagues, please join me in welcoming and acknowledging the good work provided by outstanding district employees and departments. Christine, biology teacher at Central Senior High School, was awarded the 2010 Outstanding New Biology Teacher Achievement Award from the National Association of Biology Teachers. Sarah Benedict and Chris Hilgert, teachers at Cherokee Heights Elementary, and Wendy Aro and Ann Uzendowski, teachers at Highwood Hills Elementary, recently received National Board of Teaching certification. These 4 teachers started this rigorous endeavor together over 2 years when they all worked at Highwood Hills Elementary School. Jill Wall, teacher at Farnsworth Aerospace Pre-K4 Magnet, received the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics AIAA Educator Achievement Award. The AIAA Foundation presents the Educator Achievement Award every 2 years to pre-college educators who have demonstrated exemplary efforts in exciting students in grades K-12 about the study of mathematics, science, and related technical studies, and in preparing them to use and contribute to tomorrow's technologies. Wall will receive a trip to Washington, D.C., along with a guest, and will be honored at the AIAA Aerospace Spotlight Awards Gala on May 11, 2011. Liz is the physical educator at World Culture and American Indian Magnet Schools. She received the Paul Schmidt Award from the Minnesota Alliance for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance at the State Convention in Bloomington on October 14th. This award recognizes Liz for her outstanding service and contributions to physical education. Congratulations to you all. Last one. And if I could be joined by Principal Adrian Pendleton, Robin Abel, Janet Delmore, Ann Scoville, and Becky Swanson. Madam Chair, Directors of the Board, Superintendent Silva, and our esteemed colleagues, please join me in the acknowledgement of good work by schools. Barack and Michelle Obama Learning Center, Service Learning Center was one of 4 Minnesota schools recently awarded as family-friendly schools by the Minnesota Parent Center, Minnesota's PIRC, Parent Information and Resource Center, a project of Pacer Center. The awards were presented in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Education as part of Minnesota Department Parent Involvement Month in October. Parents were asked to nominate schools for efforts to create a family-school partnership in a warm, welcoming environment for parents. Quote, schools that invite parents to be partners in education realize that families play an important role in student success, said Heather Kilgore, director of the Minnesota Parent Center. Quote, we applaud these schools, along with their parents of their students, for demonstrating what strong school-family partnerships can achieve, end quote. Congratulations. And that concludes our acknowledgments.
Right. So because everyone was so enthusiastic about recognizing and expressing appreciation, is there a motion for all of the recognitions?
So moved with congratulations and thanks to everyone. It's really exciting. Well done.
Great.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, it will be all-encompassing, so we'll need to make sure it recognizes all. We're ready to vote.
Ms. Street Stewart?
Yes.
Ms. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Broderick?
Is he still out there?
Yeah, he'll be back.
Will someone find Director Broderick?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
Are you sure you know what you're saying yes to?
He has voted yes for appreciate the recognition.
Appreciate enthusiastically, yes.
So everyone has voted. That has passed. Thank you very much. Okay, we will continue on our agenda this evening, and I will then return to the superintendent and ask her to begin her introduction of the superintendent's report. Thank you, Superintendent Silva.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and the public that is here today. Today is will be, and it is, a very interesting day for all of us. And tonight, I feel that it's important for me to share with the public why the Strong Schools, Strong Community Strategic Plan was created and why it is so important for St. Paul Public Schools to deliver on this. Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., whose legacy we honor this week, dreamed on changing our neighborhoods into brotherhoods and sisterhoods. It is the same spirit and desire that we are trying to capture in our Strong School, Strong Communities plan. We stand here today in front of our schools knowing that our communities are the future of our schools, and even though this means some change for some of the communities. Change is not easy. It is messy. It is very difficult, but change is required at this time. No longer we can operate as a group of independent individual schools who say, not please in my backyard, not to us. Rather, it is time for us to accept that we are one school district, and lasting change can only be accomplished by taking this whole plan holistically. We have to look at how all the pieces align to create the whole picture that will transform educational opportunities, truly for all students. In the word of Dr. King, this plan recognizes fiercely urgency of now. That a child gets one chance at school. Now is the time to make the difference. We cannot wait any longer. Education is a civil right, the civil right issue of our time. As the President Obama said, we must transform schools to focus on children's success. All children deserve what many of us got one time in a public education. When some of our children do not get the education they deserve, it holds everyone their mind to a full potential because they don't have the same opportunities. No longer we can allow pockets of excellence. No longer we can leave untouched school in which African American, American Indian, and other students of color have predictable patterns of lower achievement based on their race. The data is compelling. Even in some of our most successful schools, that high academic success is not reflected in the scores of our children of color. We must consider our actions as adults and leaders that affect the life of children while we are sharing our concerns today and in the near future in the next few weeks. Let's be mindful how others might hear those concerns. Let's be respectful of our comments. Let's us not diminish one school over another. Remember, all our schools have real life children in them. And how we talk about those schools impacts those children, how they see themselves. Let's make sure we don't forget that the only thing we own is our own integrity. Do we have the moral courage to change the current structure to better serve our students? Do we have the courage to confront our current practices and our current results to admit that what we are currently doing is not working for all students? Do we have the courage to recognize that in these economic times, we must change our academic organization and transforming teaching and learning to better prepare all students for the future that many of us don't even know what it's going to look like? Let's make sure that during these next few months, we can continue working together with one thing in mind. We can be a school system that works great for all students. That is our promise, our purpose, and our goal. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for being engaged. And I will continue now with the beginning part of our presentation if the time allows us. So coming back to the presentation of what is the plan, and I know many of you in the audience today sitting here, you have a pretty clear understanding of what the changes are related to your school and your area. But there are so many people out in the audience at home that couldn't make it today. They're probably trying to escape from the cold winter, and they are watching us on TV. So what we are doing at this point, it will be a short presentation of what is the plan, how does it look like, and then give an opportunity for the families who are watching from home to get engaged in the discussion or in the presentation and the public comments that we will be hearing in the next few minutes. First of all, our strategic plan is based on strong schools, strong communities. We know if we have strong schools, we will be able to build strong communities. Our strategy to improve the achievement of all students without exception or excuse. Next. We looked at this plan, and you will know that the plan provides a rational design for improving achievement and narrowing the gap during a time of diminishing resources. You all are aware that we don't have the dollars that we used to have, neither we will be able to get any more additional dollars for what we need to be doing. The plan is focused on the needs of students, creates a uniform, reliable, and consistent standards and expectations for all of us, students, families, staff, and communities, and is based on keeping learning close to home. Next. Our data tell us that we have pockets of excellence, as I said in my previous speech. Our current choice system does not do enough to address the achievement gap. Students of color and low-income students do not have higher achievement at magnet schools. In fact, our data tell us that it's the opposite, that they do perform slightly lower. Furthermore, the site-based system that we currently have at our schools led to inconsistent practices in our curriculum as well as in our instruction. Even though we have a good curriculum, and it's getting even better, we haven't done a good enough job of making sure that it's implemented in consistent manners across the board for all students and all schools. Always considering the fact that some of our schools have a focus, and the focus needs to be part of the curriculum and how we align that to it. Our plan, it will be based on 1, 2, and 3. Very simple. 3 goals that we need to accomplish. The first goal is we must improve student achievement. The second goal is we must align our, can you go back please? We must align our curriculum, our personnel, our programming, and our system of resources, as well as work with communities. And our third goal, that is not the least in any ways, not important, is our way of sustain our current programming. Next. In the achievement portion, we know today that we have many pieces put together on the alignment of curriculum and the instruction. We have to continue working on preparing our workforce, our teachers, and our principals, that they're the most important part of the student achievement, on be better prepared to serve the needs of our kids today. The alignment will provide the opportunity for our staff to have very clear expectations of what is expected for them to do in the math, in reading, for families to know what should my son or daughter learn in this grade level, and what are the end result? What are those milestones that as a parent you could expect at the end of the year or the semester or at the end of the month when you meet with your teachers? It's also an approach to what we called a quality, rigorous, and aligned curriculum, that we call it a managed instruction. And this is terminology in education. It's pretty much what we have been doing in the last year, especially on trying to ensure that our staff have clear expectations of what materials, curriculum they need to be using for the different content areas. And they are, at this point, being instruct and provide additional professional development. Teachers never end growing on their professional delivery of the curriculum. We keep growing and learning different ways of doing things, and that's our goal into this program. The next one is our goal 2, that talks about the alignment. As you will be seeing, or you have been able to see, we have worked very much into increasing the student achievement, but we also are working on planning a way of aligning some of the programming. For example, in the past we have Montessori schools as magnet schools. Today we will have Montessori schools as pre-K 6, and we expand into 7 and 8, because we know that our families are choosing the extension of the middle school years into the middle school. We know that we have a French immersion program that it articulated up to the 6th grade, and now we have a full articulation all the way to 12th grade. We know that the Spanish immersion program needs to be articulated, and it will be articulated all the way into high school. And like those, we are looking at articulation of the programs, but we also are looking at alignment, in which we have programming in 6 regional areas in which all our families have access to it, providing the opportunities to still continue with magnet schools district-wide, with magnet school regional in different parts of the city, and also with community areas in which families have the opportunity to choose any of the schools in that area. And with that, we will be able to provide a system in which the learning will be closer to home and still provide the opportunity for families to choose a focus that they believe their child or daughter is inclined to be enjoying the way that being going to the Farnsworth Elementary School aerospace curriculum is what they would like their students to, or their child to receive. We're also, as you probably are aware, we're looking at the data. Our students for the first time in St. Paul have been assessed in September to measure where they are. We are looking at that data as a staff and see what are the areas that they may have gaps that we need to reinforce, and then we are moving them into the next layer of data collection, which is now in January, and be able to notice and report and see where the growth is in our students and where the growth may be in one area but not in another, that we can't readjust our instruction, because our teachers are the people who make the magic happen, the magic of learning in our classrooms. We're also trying to make sure that we have the ability to use our resources that we have within the community. For example, we're aligning our different community areas into our learning campus, which is the next level of partnership with the city in which our students could attend. So your child or daughter could go to school during the day in our boundaries, boards and bricks, as some people call it, and after school they could attend to different areas of enrichment opportunities within the learning campus that the city, the county, the community agencies, and ourselves as St. Paul Public School will be working in developing and having available for our families. We're also very much looking at how we can ensure that our city, that naturally, as much as many people may not think, is integrated, because we have a city that is integrated economically and also in diversity, and you would see it when you look at the maps. Next one. As you see, the city is being divided into 6 areas in which our students will be able to attend, as well as the magnet schools and the regional magnets. I wanted to remind many of you that St. Paul has been extremely unique in this last few years, I would say over 15 years, on the great opportunity that we had of providing transportation to many, many students to all over the city. We have our very close neighbors around us in which our students are assigned to an area. And with all that, we do not want to we do not want to lose the ability for choice. And that's why we have kept some focus schools, magnet schools that we know they're successful. And then we also have kept some magnet schools, they're regional, that we have the opportunity to provide all those choices and for families and still keep learning close to home. As you can see, and I probably understand that you cannot see because the map is quite small, but we have maps and we have more information, and it's also in our website if you wish to go and check. And we have the different regions, community areas for the elementary, middle school, and high school. And when we talk about the alignment, the idea is that we can align our students going with many choices still, but going through some of the programming that it will be in that area, that we can align the way our students are being fed into the system. So we'll go to the next one, and then we have, as I said before, the regional, the community schools, and the magnets, and we can go to the next slide. And which I already kind of covered. I was ahead of my time with the city and the learning campus and the partnership that we have with the city. And finally, I want to ensure that everybody in the community understand, could you go to the next slide, that we are folding out these changes in phases. And we understand that some communities and schools will be affected 2011-12, which is next school year. Some communities will be affected in the year that is after, and some will be at the end of the year 13-14. The reason why we're doing that is we are providing plenty of time for families to adjust to the changes, but also to provide us with the opportunity to serve the communities and the families through the transition in the best way. The plan is to improve academics, and we need to base that. All students must perform better. And also, we are providing the opportunity to give families early enough now to plan the future for what is going to happen in the year 2013. Next one, and I have a couple more, and I know I'm a couple minutes over, but I want to finish the presentation and then we can go into the public comment. We know in order to sustain an educational system that serves all students and serve all students well and with equity, that you don't need as a parent to be shopping around for where do we have a physical education program that takes 3 times a week instead of 2 times a week, or if we have a music or an art teacher, that we have a uniform staff that is going to be assigned to every building, that every kid has the same opportunities to receive the same amount of music, art, social studies, science. We need to do business differently, because the way we have been doing business does not allow us to provide that kind of funding to the schools. The new normal, as we talk in the educational language today, is flat funding or declining revenue. With this new normal, if we stay where we are today, with everything as the legislation had provided us, the state funding as well as the federal government, we will be looking at $23 million. If anything changes into the declining, we can be looking at $33 to $43 million budget cuts. That is many, many dollars. Remember, 86% of our dollars go to people, staff, teachers, custodian, cafeteria, secretary, staff. So and then we're looking at major personnel reduction, which not only is going to affect the ability for your students to receive more services, but also the city itself is already in a very tough position of many, many people in an unemployment status. Next one. We know that we need to invest our few resources in the programs that are being proven to be successful. That's what you will see in the plan, if you haven't had a chance to see it, that we are expanding successful schools, that we are making 2 campuses out of it, and we are providing the opportunity to make the elementary schools K-5 to give a space for more kids who want to attend to a elementary school and today do not have a space. The 6, 7, and 8 model, which is what will be the change of middle school in the year 13-14, is the national model of how we best serve middle grade students. Because we know the students in middle grades have many things in their head and in their hormones and in their life, and then we need to have them a longer period of time to create relationships. Our 6th grade model right now, it's in the elementary school, and the transition to 7th grade, not only we lose many students that they choose to go to other school districts, but also we lose them academically. So we will be having a 6th-year grade level as a transition within the middle school model. Also, we are going to look at centralizing some of the resources, that we don't have to expect every school to figure out the way how they're going to be funding this and that, because no longer the dollars are available. And our plan goes to the fact that we are currently having a current market share of 73% of our students. The other percent is spread between private school, parochial school, and charter school. We know if we can increase 3 to 4% of our market share, which it means that if we can increase between 3,000 to 4,000 more students in St. Paul Public School, we know we will not be facing these budget cuts as we're looking at it for the future. We also know that in St. Paul Public School, we have over 6,500 employees that work day in and out and work in the city, live in the city, and they're part of the community. And I call for all of you to look at what we have in St. Paul, to think how grateful we are about the program we offer, and try to enroll one child, each of us, and we will be able to get to this number, and we will be looking at an expansion of a budget instead of reducing a budget. Some of you are here today because you're very sad about the fact that a successful program may need to be dissolved because we don't have enough students in the school. Well, when the program was developed 14 years ago, we did not have the perception at that point that small schools could not be funded. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at having more students that we still can keep in some way or another. The whole motion of small schools provide a better education for students, but we're still, our new normal cannot operate at the low numbers as we have today. With that, I'm sorry that I took 2 more minutes in my presentation, and we have all this information up on the web. We have community meetings available for all of you to participate. We want to hear from you, and we also have opportunity for our own staff to participate in different community meetings for staff that will be more related to issues that they're related to their employment and how it's going to happen and curriculum and instruction. So we're trying to provide as many opportunities for the public as well as for our own staff to give us feedback. Remember, our goal is to ensure that we have a quality education for all students. Thank you.
Thank you. As we prepare to begin our public comment time tonight, I am aware that we have a lot of families in the room, and we know that we may go on for some time in receiving the comments. So those of you that will need to leave because you have children that you'll still want to get to bed, I do have 2 announcements that I want to be able to share with you at this time. This is particularly related to those of you who are part of the communities for 4 Seasons, A+ Elementary, and Open School. I understand that a phone message that was sent out that was specific to you to reach out to you, some of you may have heard that, and that's maybe why you're also here tonight. But it also has been brought to my attention that everyone may not have received that automated phone call, and so part of that message I'll share with you this evening. The first is that there will be one of the community meetings at Open School this coming Monday, January 24th, from 6 to 7 p.m., and then at 4 Seasons on January 26th from 6 to 7 p.m. And at that time, there will be the opportunity to have a discussion about this vision, the strong schools, strong communities, and what the plan means for the district and what it will mean for our families in the communities. So I wanted to make sure I was able to share that with you while you were all still here with your children tonight. So again, Open School Monday, January 24th, and 4 Seasons on Wednesday, January 26th. Now we will begin our public comment time, and that's the part of the Board of Education agenda where the public has an opportunity to address the Board of Education regarding issues you wish to comment on or bring to the board's attention. All speakers are asked to sign in on a sign-in log and complete a sign-in form, including as much detail as possible, and provide a written copy of your presentation if you have one available. The sign-in log and the sign-in sheet have been in the lobby actually out there near the entrance door, and if you have not called in advance, you may sign up through the course of the time for public comment. We ask, though, that you are sure to turn in your sign-in form to either the staff person handling the sign-in, which is Chris Emerson right here, or our school board secretary, Ms. Polsfuss, up here with us before you leave this evening. Now, public comment is an opportunity for the board to listen. It is not a time to engage in dialogue, and as a general rule, the board will not comment on or respond to any comments made by speakers. Speakers are advised, for your legal protection and the legal rights of staff, that any complaint or issue related to personnel must be made in writing, and your public comments should not include names, titles, or location names for any staff. Each speaker tonight will have 2 minutes to speak. Speakers may not roll your time to another speaker. Our secretary to the board will time each presentation and will hold up a card indicating when 1 minute remains, but there will also be a buzzer at the 2 minutes so that you will be able to complete your statements, and then we will move on to our next speaker. Thank you. Generally, speakers will be called in the order of the names received. However, if the sign-in log indicates that there are a number of speakers on the same subject, we will group them around that subject and call you in the order that you signed in. Once that subject area has been covered, we'll continue to move on through all the speakers who have signed in. We ask that you begin by stating your name only, and this podium area here is the one where the mic will be live, so that's where I will invite you up to come speak. I also want to note that there still are a few chairs in the front row if anybody really would like to be able to sit down. And then, as I looked over the list already, I have several pages for 4 seasons. And so what I'd like to do, I'm going to divide that in half, and I'm going to take the first 12 persons, and then we'll move on to another school, and then we'll go back to 4 seasons. That way, it'll be more fair to families who have come to speak this evening. And I think it will also be helpful. I will try to read names in about 3 or 4 at a time, so you can begin to consider your position in that lineup of the sequence. So our first speaker that I would invite to join us tonight is Adele Binning, and then Flora Klein, and Joe Juvelin. And in a very gracious way, if I have mispronounced your name, please share that correctly when you come up. Thank you very much. So Ms. Binning, welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Adele Binning, and I am a parent who has been lucky enough to have a child who attended 4 seasons from kindergarten through 6th grade. And I sincerely applaud efforts to get a handle on budget difficulties and academic achievement challenges. But I have to say I was disappointed to hear the recommendation that 4 season be closed. And more than disappointed, I was really confused. 4 Seasons is a school that works, and so I was confused to hear that the numbers were dwindling, and I just didn't believe that. I read that in the Star Tribune, and where did they get it? So I went to the Minnesota Department of Education, and I noticed it's absolutely maintained its enrollment all of the years that it's been here. It is essentially the same enrollment every year. In addition, we have 40 pre-K students there that didn't used to come to 4 Seasons, so our numbers have actually increased. While I was on the Minnesota Board of Education site, I decided to look at a few more numbers. I looked at 4 Seasons' improvement of math scores, and I noticed that they were one of the few schools that improved in 17 out of 19 indicators. And while we're talking about the achievement gap, I noticed that in every grade, in every subject, African American students performed better, except for one instance, than the average of all other St. Paul public schools. So clearly it's doing something right. 4 Seasons has an outstanding staff, committed families. It has a program that is popular, unique, and it's in the process of turning test scores around. Why would you dismantle something that is doing what we want it to do? I say, if it ain't broke, why break it? So I would like to just speak here to say that 4 Seasons doesn't have to come to an end. I see that there are buildings that are going to be reopened. There is a lot of changing around. It just doesn't seem okay. This is one sentence I have to say. And so I understand that district wants and needs the real estate that 4 Seasons occupies. But just like a family is not defined by its house, a church is not defined by its sanctuary, neither is a school just the bricks and mortar in which it meets. Preserve 4 Seasons community and allow it to continue to thrive. Take our building, but please leave us our school. Thank you very much,
Ms. Binning. Thank you. Our next speaker, you're just fine. This must be Flora Klein.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi, Flora.
Hi, my name is Flora Klein, and I attended 4 Seasons from kindergarten through 6th grade. There are so many different kids with different backgrounds at 4 Seasons. The diversity is an immense array. I want you to know what a day at 4 Seasons is like. walk down the stairs and hallways and make your way over to Four Seasons. You find yourself hearing the singing voices of children you all once were. With the A+ Arts model, you realize how different this school day is, how different this school is. You pause and see the schedule. Prep, teaming, musical. The arts in the regular school day. You never see a schedule like this in other schools. This is the only place where you can have this option. This is what makes it unique. Four Seasons is a place where you enter the dance room and you take off your shoes and you do the brain dance. You learn about polygons, landforms, and locomotion. You learn how the Wright brothers affected the world. You learn the digestive system. I tell my almost high school peers and teachers about my memories here. We were also lucky to have this, and many dream about this opportunity. When was the last time you danced and left the room thinking, I can change the world? I thought about things, I learned about things, and all the while I was dancing. You hear the music from down the hall. This is a place where you express. You incorporate math with scales, learning art with beats and chord colors. Here's a place where you sing and realize there's a world out there. You can make a difference in others' lives. You see the art room. Thought processes begin here. Here you fit in. Everywhere in this amazing school you fit in. This is what makes this school different. Schools with the arts in the regular school day are very hard to come by and something special to treasure. Think back to when you were in elementary school and think of the positive memories that were made there. Four Seasons is too unique and loving to be shut down. Take a minute to think. It needs your support to become something even better.
Thank you very much, Ms. Klein. Our next speaker is Joe Juvelin, and as he is preparing to speak, I would invite Maxwell Juvelin and Courtney Juvelin, and then Michelle Weiss.
Good evening. I'll be succinct. I'm here tonight to present a simple analogy. Many, if not all of you, have a retirement plan of some sort, a 401k, a 403b, something along those lines. And in these trying economic times, one of the top pieces of financial advice is don't cash out your investments for short-term gains. Find a way to make it through without losing that vested interest. Well, tonight I ask you to take a very close look at the devoted investment the faculty, the teachers, and these families have made in Four Seasons. This boils down to an economic issue, so what is the opportunity cost for closing a school where families believe in the school's mission? What is the opportunity cost of closing a school where a deeply diverse group of kids work together every year to produce themselves an event that makes the community sit up and say, wow, that is really extraordinary. Something these kids carry with them with pride for the rest of their lives. What is the opportunity cost of closing a school where hard-fought progress is being made by a unified team of teachers and faculty, reaching students that this entire district struggles to educate, using innovative strategies to bridge the social and economic gap culturally and academically citywide? And those strategies are working. When you are making good interest with your investments, you may need to adjust your budget, but you keep your strong performers even in a bear market. The people surrounding and lifting up this school to your attention are willing to make adjustments to keep this unique group together and thriving. A different location, a different schedule, we can find a mutually beneficial resolution to these things. But please do not sacrifice doing the right thing, the responsible thing, for the sake of expediency. Please do not cash out the sound investment you have in Four Seasons. Thank you.
Very much. Our next speaker is Maxwell Juvelin. Thank you for adjusting the mic.
I'm Maxwell Juvelin, and I'm in second grade in Four Seasons. I like Four Seasons because it is the only year-round school that has all four arts in the whole city: music, dance, theater, and art. And that's what I think makes it a really nice school.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maxwell Juvelin. And then,
Courtney Juveland.
as you begin, I want to make sure we've set the timer again. Okay.
I'm Courtney Juveland. Thank you.
Welcome.
I've spent the last week trying to make sense of the data, trying to understand why the district has targeted 4 seasons to close. The more I try to understand, the less I do, because the data does not match statements made about the school's enrollment or performance at all. I feel that we are performing very well among the elementary schools in our enrollment range, and it seems to me that the only reason for closing our unique community is that we occupy real estate that the district wants, and it's easier to close us than to move us. But easier is rarely better. Easier is rarely smarter. In this case, easier is a disservice to our community at 4 Seasons and to the city of St. Paul. The environment of this school, which our family has attended for 4 years, is one of honoring the student, collaborating with the family, innovating to meet the needs of each individual. Our children are known by name by every staff member. There's a feeling of being a family with our community. When we first broke the news to our children a week ago that their school is proposed to close, our eldest son, whom just spoke, he's a 2nd grader, had this immediate response. Now I'm going to have to go to a big school, and I'm going to be bullied. Those were his first words. It was very emotional, obviously, and as his parents were addressing the worry about potential mistreatment by others, but more to the point, this response speaks to his feelings of safety and security at 4 Seasons. It's a peace school. We don't just put it out there on our literature. We cultivate a culture of respect. I felt the warmth of it the first time I walked through the doors. Our sons feel valued here. We all do. It's truly something special, and it's just another thing that disappears if 4 Seasons is lost. And I do mean lost, because if you accept the district's proposal and the school is closed, we lose 4 Seasons and you lose too. I respectfully ask you to consider moving our community to another location. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Juveland. My next speaker is Michelle Weiss, and as she is coming forward, I would also invite Irene Sapanara-Gottwalt, Michaela Gillespie-Burns, and Paul Oman to come prepared to speak. Good evening, Ms. Weiss.
Okay, my name is Michelle Weiss, and I'm here with my husband and my 2 daughters. My youngest daughter, Gabriella Weiss, goes to 4 Seasons and has been going there since 4 years old. We moved to St. Paul after serving our country in the military. We chose St. Paul because of the education. And now, after 4 years of having great achievement in her school, we're told she has to leave. Our oldest daughter also is a student at St. Paul schools. During our military service, she went to 4 schools in 3 different states. That was before she even came here and got into 4th grade. So education is important to us, and having our youngest attend school as much as she can is important to us. So instead of closing 4 Seasons, how about moving it? I live right down the street from Longfellow. I watch every snow day, the parking lot get plowed, the lights are turned on. No one's there. So you're spending money on a school where no one is and no one's using. So why not move 4 Seasons there? You talked about making the schools a K through 8 program. The Longfellow building is big enough to accommodate that for 4 Seasons. Not only does it give us a performing space, it lets us grow. Our enrollment is not down. It can continue to grow. Longfellow closed because out of the 300 neighborhood kids in that neighborhood, less than 20 went there, including my 2 daughters. Because I walked through Longfellow and why I liked the building, I was not impressed with the teaching. So that could be why enrollment in that school was down and is now closed. So instead of closing the school, how about move it? There's 3 other school buildings in the St. Paul district that aren't being used. That's my taxpayer money, because I am a homeowner and I do pay taxes, going to schools that aren't being used. So let's rethink everything. Let's look at the options and let's move our school. We have a strong school community. So let's do that. Thanks for taking the time.
Irene Sapanara-Gottwalt, Michaela Gillespie-Burns, and Paul Oman will be speaking. Is Irene? Okay.
Hello, my name is Irene Sapiner-Gottwald, and I have one child who just graduated from Four Seasons, and I have Anna who's been there, and she's now in 3rd grade. I noticed in the district-wide offering that there is no district-wide elementary art school. And I was really surprised by that, because when my husband and I chose to buy a house in St. Paul, we bought it specifically because at the time Mississippi Creative Arts was a nationally known choir that was singing with Donny Osmond in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. I was a parent at Mississippi for 12 years as a PTA president, as a site council member, and they have gone from 5 full-time art teachers to now 1. The last one was cut in October. So as a parent, I was deeply offended that you are offering something that no longer exists. As much as I love the teachers and the staff at Mississippi, they are no longer a creative arts magnet. And we need to have a district-wide creative arts magnet of some sort, and I believe that Four Seasons would definitely fill that bill. Living in the northeast corner, I agree that we need community schools, but you are not offering, as a parent right now, as it stands, what you offer us. For a parent in the northeast corner, there is no arts. And so I propose that you move Four Seasons into a building in the northeast corner, in that region, so that we will continue to have art and drama and music and a musical that draws over 1,000 people every year. We are a very strong creative arts school, and I was very disconcerted. So thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to your decision, and I really pray that you will reconsider your choices. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Michaela Gillespie-Burns.
I'm Michaela Gillespie-Burns. If it were just a matter of academics, my children could go elsewhere. But what I want for my artistic spirited children is offered here with the arts, drama, and music. There is no other school like this in St. Paul. In addition to these children learning their ABCs and mathematical lattice methods, they become stars of the stage in a fantastic musical production every summer, created by an enormously talented, award-winning team of specialists. They make magic happen. This is not your ordinary grade school play. It's not just the older kids, not just the teachers' pets, but every kid in every grade from kindergarten through 6th. They sing, dance, and act with their whole beings, and they shine. They make it happen. How wonderful this community. I'm so privileged to be involved with the school family as a volunteer and with this production. What tells you how special this is that many parents with students here seek jobs here as well. Many of the teachers here seek to enroll their own children here. That is how wonderful this community is. This is close to home for many of us. For many of us, this is our home school. Four Seasons is our #1 choice. Four Seasons is my first choice. Keep us open year-round or not. Move us to a larger place, allow us the opportunity to expand to 8th grade, and I guarantee you we will meet enrollment numbers, we will meet learning standards and MCA scores, and every one of our students will go on to graduate to something great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Paul Oman. And as Mr. Ullman is coming forward, I'd like to invite Kathleen Prom, Naomi Adams, and Matt. And Matt, I will have to say, I'm not really sure exactly the last name here. It looks like Noah Krausla. Okay, and please come help me figure out the name. Okay. But at this time, Paul will invite you, and then everybody else is lined up.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
I'm the parent of a 3rd grader at Four Seasons. My son Richard has autism and has been receiving special education service since he was 3 years old. When it became time to choose a school for 1st grade, a district special needs representative who knew Richard suggested we look at Four Seasons. We went to the parent fair and looked at several schools. Most schools were excited to tell us about their program, but when they found out we had a special needs child, their faces fell, and they usually said that they don't have the resources to support such kids. But not at Four Seasons. They told us about their art space program and the individual attention they give to their kids. We went to their open house, met their wonderful art specialists and staff who are excited about their school. We applied to Four Seasons on time and as our first choice, and due to the demand, we were put on a waiting list. We were so happy when an opening finally happened, and we were able to register Richard there. At the conference before the start of school, Richard's new teacher greeted us warmly and told us she was so glad that we had come to Four Seasons. We told her that we were so happy that he was there and that she would be his teacher, even with the challenges of his autism. Well, of course Richard is in my class. I picked him, you know, she told us. It's difficult to convey how much that meant to us as the parents of a special needs child, to hear a teacher say that, "I want your child in my class." We had never heard that before. Richard has always felt wanted at Four Seasons. The arts-based, integrated curriculum allows him to learn in ways that he can't in a traditional school. He's blossomed, certainly academically, but also emotionally and socially. With the encouragement of his teachers, other kids actively look out for Richard when he's having a difficult time or needs extra help.
Right out. You can finish your sentence there.
Thank you. It's this wonderfully supportive and caring atmosphere, together with the integrated arts-based curriculum, that makes Four Seasons so special.
Thank you very much. Kathleen Fromm. Welcome, Ms. Fromm.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Prom. I'm a parent of one former student of Four Seasons and one current student, a fourth grader. And I'm going to adjust my comments from what I had planned to say because I think there's still a comment hanging in the air here that was made early this evening about dissolving a successful program because of enrollment. And I really feel that the enrollment data that you have is kind of interesting because, yes, Four Seasons has one of the lower enrollments, but again, as several other people have said, there isn't room to expand in the space we're in, and we are understanding that the district would prefer that for special needs because it makes some sense, makes economic sense. And there's been comments from the district that it's difficult to provide education in a school that has fewer than 350 students. Well, if I look at your website, I see 14 schools that have less than 350 students. In the new plan, the Strong Schools, Strong Communities plan, 8 of those are slated to be paired. And I guess I'm looking at it from the point of view of the parents that those, we should be given that same opportunity. That was never brought up. We got kind of a sucker punch when we go to the school choice fair on a Friday and we hear our school is going to be closed on a Tuesday and we have no opportunity to look at anything. So that's something we still have to go ahead and do. The other comment I wanted to make is the Strong Schools, Strong Communities. We keep talking about and hearing about strong community-based activities. Well, you might want to know that West 7th Community Center, who pairs with Four Seasons for after-school enrichment programs, they have a grant directly tied into Four Seasons. If that school is dissolved, they lose the majority of their funding for the next 3 years with no opportunity for 2 one-year extensions after that. They cannot substitute another school. So right there's federal funding that you're helping give away by just going ahead and dissolving the school and not looking at other options. Please consider other options for our school. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Naomi Adams. Welcome, Ms. Adams.
Hi, my name is Naomi Adams, and I'm a parent of 3 children at Four Seasons. And just to let you know, Four Seasons is such a special school. As a parent there for 7 years, I loved it so much, I wanted to work there. So I'm now the family involvement coordinator at the school, too. I love it that much. I want to talk a little bit about our parent community. We have nearly 70% of our families are at poverty level and below. And yet, we have 100% attendance at all of our conferences. We have over 1/3 of our parents every single year volunteer on a consistent basis. And this past fall, our parent community raised $20,000 that we gave back to our school. We raised that in a year and a half. That is a very strong parent community, and it's because our parents love Four Seasons and love our kids being there. We've noticed the district's trend, schools that are half empty and half closed, and declining enrollment, that you have either pair them together or closed. We are a school that is strong. We have very low student turnover, very low staff turnover. Our kids who come in at pre-K in our magical Mrs. Manners class, they stay. And they stay until the very, very end. You say that you want change in the district. We want to change too because we want to grow. We are an amazing, amazing school, and we want that opportunity to grow too. I did a preliminary survey result of our parents this past weekend. 94% of our parents surveyed would love to continue to see our school be K-8. 89% of our families would follow us to any building in the district. 68% of our families would say, it's okay if we're not year-round, we'll go to a traditional calendar, we want to keep our school. And 72% of our families said that they would go K-12 if we had the space. We have the dream, we have the goals, and we have an amazing, amazing school. Please do not close our doors. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Matt? Good evening and welcome.
I am Matt Nowashewski.
Thank you.
2 years ago, my family transferred from a metro area private school to Four Seasons, our neighborhood school. This school is in the diverse, working-class West End neighborhood of St. Paul, and at that time, the school change was not an easy decision for us. Since that time, I can't even count the number of times my wife and I have talked about how sending our kids to Four Seasons has been one of the best parental decisions we have ever made. Up until last week, we were looking forward to next fall when all three of our children would be attending this wonderful school at the same time as our youngest will be starting kindergarten. Seemingly out of nowhere, our strong school is being pulled out of our strong community. It's being shut. It has the possibility of being shut down. It's a school that's meeting and exceeding city's expectations. Right now, my kids attending this school, which is a diverse, thriving school, and from what I understand regarding standardized test scores, the school is performing better than 6 of the 10 schools of similar size and has shown steady improvement every year. I won't lie and say that we haven't thought about private and charter schools if Four Seasons closes. Please do not shut down Four Seasons A-plus elementary school. Relocate it. Change it from a year-round to traditional calendar school year, which would save or could save money. Combine it with another school. Consider every option, but don't shut it down. Four Seasons allows the opportunity for every one of its students to shine and perform in a big way. Keep Four Seasons open. Let the kids continue to shine. And let the school be an example and model of what a St. Paul public school should be as it currently is right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kathy Kopp. Again, Kathy Kopp and Kajan Iverson. And then the last speaker at just for this section for Four Seasons will be Laurie Bean. Kathy, Kajan, and Laurie.
Hi, my name is Kathy Kaup, and I am a parent of actually 2 students at Four Seasons. I believe that community is not a physical location. I believe that community is a group of people with the same common interest. And that's what Four Seasons has. We have a community. In the opening statements, you said, let us not diminish one school over another. If you close Four Seasons, you will be diminishing a school and a community. My son, Tucker, has become much more confident as a student at Four Seasons. He has very low self-esteem. But because of the learnings and the teachers and the confidence that they instill in him, he was one of the leads in the school play last year. And he was able to stand up in front of 1,000 people and be a performer. Four Seasons is a strong community. Teachers care about their students. I've never seen a more loving set of teachers. They know each student by name, and they know their parents. You can walk into the school and they know who you are. That doesn't happen in a school with 600 people. It doesn't happen in a school where you have 40 kids in a classroom. Please don't close our school.
Thank you very much. Dawn Iverson?
Hi, my name is Kaja Iverson.
Kaja.
I attended Four Seasons from 1998 to 2005. This school is very important to me. This is where I found out that I'm a performing artist, and I honestly believe if it wasn't for this school, I can say I don't know if I would have found that. They gave me the opportunity to perform with Stepping Stone Theater because I had that confidence, and they just gave me that willpower to do it, and for that I've been really grateful. And I've auditioned for things at the Guthrie Theater, and every time when I go back to that school, it's a constant reminder that that's what I have inside of me. And 3 of my brothers went there. Well, 2 of them go there now, and my younger brother Isaac, he's in 2nd grade, and he loves to dance, and he loves going to school and dancing every single day. And I have another younger brother, Ari, in the kindergarten, and he tends to have special needs sometimes, and he needs the extra care that the school has there, and that's really important to me. And I believe if this school shut down, that it would be a big mistake, and you need kids that are like this at this school, and if you move the school, it would be a better it would give other kids opportunity, and like other people said, if it goes from K to 8th grade, you're opening the doors for more kids. Maybe there are kids that feel inside that they want to be able to be on stage and they can't do it because of where they're at, and community schools don't have that, and this school does have that. And this is important for me to keep this school open. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Laurie Bean?
Hi, my name is Lori Bean, and 7 years ago, when my husband and I were looking at schools in the St. Paul area, we went to the school fair, and we chose Four Seasons, #1 choice, because first and foremost, learning is fun at Four Seasons. It's creative. It used multidisciplinary methods for all kinds of learners. And what I wanted for my children was not just a child who could take standardized tests. I can teach my child how to take standardized tests. I wanted my child to be a lifelong learner. Something that hasn't been mentioned is arts education is inherently disciplined. Children I've seen in the classroom who have the most difficulty controlling their body, controlling their emotion, controlling their time of talking, are able to be disciplined in arts, because that's the only way arts can function. At Four Seasons, an inherent quality that is taught, because the show must go on. Another way of saying this is perseverance and leadership. Things go wrong when you're performing, and these children respond, and they make the show go on. It's a beautiful and magical thing. If you visited our little school on a hot summer July day, you would not find a student who wished they were on summer vacation, because they are at school, and that's where they want to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now going to begin calling persons who had requested to speak regarding Le Toit de Nord. And again, what I will do will be to identify 3 or 4 names at a time, and we'll invite those up. And then once we are through that section, I will return to the Four Seasons conversations. So our first speaker that I would invite up is Jennifer Empolsky, then Sarah Gehring, Elizabeth DeCourt, and Gina Bergmeyer. Jennifer Empolsky, Sarah Gehring, Elizabeth DeCourt, Right. And we know that there are some breakout rooms, so I'm not rushing. I'm just repeating the names. And Gina Bergmeyer. We'll wait to see if they will bring them forward. Jennifer, welcome. Were you down the hallway? Yes. Thank you. So, yeah, no rush. You're fine. We knew that we might have to allow the walking time down the hallway. And again, the public comment time tonight is 2 minutes per person. There'll be a visual 1 minute remaining and then a beeper sound. Thank you.
Thank you. Bonsoir. Je m'appelle Jennifer Ampolsky et mon fils va à l'école, va à l'Étoile du Nord. Good evening. My name is Jennifer Ampolsky and my son is a student at l'Étoile du Nord French Immersion. I'm here tonight primarily to request that the board consider extending the deadline for parents to provide their school choice, not just for closing schools. And I understand there's been some media reports regarding that. I personally have been extremely disappointed with the manner that information is provided or not provided. And one of the earlier speakers that I heard talking about the school information fair and the fact that this information about l'Étoile du Nord and many of these other schools wasn't provided until after that school information fair took place. L'Étoile du Nord is one of the schools that is proposed to undergo many changes, including in 2011, including location change, downsizing the program by eliminating the 6th grade, and possible elimination of important programming such as Discovery Club, which starkly impacts working parents such as myself. These issues are too important for parents to require us to guess at how the plan will be implemented before the board adopts the plan and require us to make our school choice before that time. As you have guessed, the LNFI parents are extremely concerned about this plan, and we want to be fully informed in our education choices. As Superintendent Silva said earlier, change is not easy. It is messy, but it can also be exhilarating. And if we have the opportunity to have all of the facts and consider everything and give us the opportunity to get all that information in, I think that we will be able to work together to create a partnership moving forward. So I thank you for your time.
The superintendent has asked permission to speak at this time. This, of course, is very different. We normally do not have interactive commentary during the Board of Education, but I believe there is some information that, for the factual nature, needs to be expressed.
And thank you for giving me the chance. I wanted to clear a couple times for the public that may be misunderstanding the information, and communication is the hardest thing to do, especially in a large plan, which we're looking at 3-year plan. First of all, for l'Étoile du Nord, they're not proposed changes for the next school year, which is 11-12. Whatever you have today, you will be able to have the following year. Second, we're not recommending to diminish the number of students going to the program. We're recommending a new location. There's the discontinuing of the 6th grade program is because we, in the year 2013-14, all middle schools will become 6, 7, and 8. So that's the reason why in that year, l'Étoile du Nord will look like a K-5 school. So then I just wanted to ensure that that information is clear. No changes for this coming year. The proposal is to move the current students, the boards and bricks, the building, to a new location with the same number of students, and the year after, as all the middle schools will be transforming into 6th grade, l'Étoile du Nord will be a K-5 elementary school, which will allow to increase the enrollment because no longer we will have 6th graders in the proposed building. Thank you, and I am very, very sorry that the miscommunication is there.
but that is the information. We'll make sure to create even more clear communication with our families.
We're going to continue to proceed with commentary from L'Etoile du Nord. Sarah, Gary?
I'm Sarah Geving.
Geving, thank you.
I represent the East Side Pride, specifically Area C. It's the most diverse area in the city. It's got the lowest income, and best of all, it's got the highest number of foreclosures in the whole state of Minnesota. Do you guys want to come and live with us? It sounds like a great place to live, doesn't it? And we have lots of starter homes. It's perfect for young families. And we have the highest student population in the city. But wait, we have the French Immersion School. We've had it only there for about 4 or 5 years, but in that time, diversity has grown 4%. And that number is going to increase because it's getting some roots. Do you know that our school is top 5 for gifted and talented every single year? Our test scores are always superb, and if you were to move here, I would recommend you check it out. 27% of the kindergarten class is from the East Side, and our whole neighborhood attends. We have 20 kids on 2 bus stops. Wait, you mean they're taking away our sparkly, shiny gem? All for a middle school? Why don't they look at other options? There are currently 4 middle levels in that area. Why don't they look at Old Washington Tech? This is our 3rd location in the last 10 or so years. Why us? Why would they move us to the most affluent and least populated area with other high-achieving immersion, charter, and private schools? Area F is already a pocket of excellence. How is having a citywide options in Area F citywide for low-income families struggling to put food on their plates? This does not represent the brotherhood and sisterhood that you mentioned. Do you have the courage to relook and re-examine this? Let's keep our kids close to home.
Rachel Gillespie and Danielle Semlik, thank you. Elizabeth, please. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for allowing me this chance to speak. My name is Elizabeth DeCourt. I have had a child at French Immersion. He's a 9th grader now, and I also have a kindergartner there. We specifically moved to the East Side after I thought the school was settled. I've been with the school and with, I guess you would call it, the fight to have our school be successful and thrive, and we are. And it just, it doesn't seem to fit with the idea that kids do better in schools in their area, especially minorities, that Superintendent Silva mentioned in her video. And so it just seemed to me that moving the school will be counterproductive in closing the achievement gap, because it's a really good opportunity over on the East Side where I've invested by buying a home. And I feel it's a great community because, as Sarah mentioned, we have so many kids now that go there, and it feels good to have a nice, strong community over here in my new location. Also, I know many families with younger kids are counting on that school and really were enthusiastic about it. If they cut the Discovery Club, that would be a deal breaker for a lot of people that I do know. And I just don't understand why a top performing school would be punished. I just wanted to settle down and have a place and a nice community for our neighbors and the children that are of lower income that are in our area. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ina Bergmeyer.
Thank you. My name is Jenna Borgmeyer, and I do live on the east side of St. Paul. First of all, I do want to applaud the efforts that you're making to strengthen schools for all of our children. A little background to my situation is that my husband and I moved to the east side from Mankato, specifically to be near some close college friends. And as their children entered school, they decided to move to the suburbs, as did many of the new friends that we had met through them. We had just struggled financially, and so moving away like they did wasn't an option for us. And we settled on the Community of Peace Academy, a charter school, as the best choice for our son. Since the time he's going to be a first grader next year, and since he's been at the school, while I have nothing negative to say about it, it's not the right fit for our family, and we have come to know a lot of families at the French Immersion School, and it has really become the main reason that we had decided to stay on the east side. My husband owns a business. It's now thriving. We would like to stay in the east side and continue to bring business to the businesses there, help the community grow. And perhaps there should be more explanation as to the reasonings behind it, but it doesn't seem economically just to move a school that is bringing so much to an area that is so diverse and so struggling economically with foreclosure and low incomes, to move it to a more affluent neighborhood when it could bring so much more and attract more highly educated parents and families to the east side and help that area of the city economically. So I really encourage you to reconsider this move. I think it's the best for our city overall. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as Ms. Gillespie is preparing to speak again, our last persons who have signed on this list will be Rachel Gillespie, Daniel Semkic, and Steve Adams. And it may be he's walking down the hallway as well. So I'll call his name again towards the end.
Oh, he's right here.
He's here. Welcome. They're just lining up. Okay. Welcome, Ms. Gillespie.
Thank you. Superintendent, board members, staff, community, thank you all for being here tonight and listening to our concerns. Superintendent, I was thrilled at the choice of you as superintendent. I know that you taught at Adams Spanish Immersion, which was actually a top choice that we had for our children because we felt language immersion is so valuable. And we bought a house on the east side also specifically for L'Etoile du Nord. We had toured quite a few of the schools and narrowed our choices down, in Spanish immersion and French were our last two choices. We could afford a home on the east side and not elsewhere. I would like to begin with Martin Luther King Jr. quote, and since it was just Martin Luther King Jr. Day and that's how you began. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And this really matters. Strong schools, strong communities really matters. We on the east side are absolutely devastated by the thought of our community school, which is also a magnet school, changing locations. It affects our property value. It affects our children. It's a high-performing school on the east side. We have very few high-performing schools on the east side, and I would ask that we don't try to fix something that's not broken. And also, you did mention that you will not be cutting students. The capacity at the open school site has a 440. Is that not true? That's the statistic that we heard. It's a 440 student capacity, but we currently have over 500 students. And we also have 26% of our students are from this outside of the district. And as you all know, per pupil funding follows into the district. So we're quite profitable, and our enrollment is increasing.
Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you. Danielle?
Danielle Semler. I have a first grader at LNFI. I do live on the east side, and so I was devastated too to learn that our school is going to be moving across town to a section that already has top performing schools. We're a community where when my husband and I looked at schools, we were thinking, let's go private, let's move out of district. And then we found LNFI, and we stayed. Not all the parents have the ability to go across town to school if programs like Discovery Club and other things aren't going to have room. And I just wanted to address, you said nothing will be changing next year. Well, in an immersion school, you can't put a kindergartner in because it works that year and then pull them out and put them into a mainstream school. It's totally different. And so by saying nothing will change next year, people have to know now before they make their choice. And having LNFI on the east side does build a sense of community. Going to that school was the first time I felt like I lived on the community. I was no longer ashamed to say, yeah, I live on the east side. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Steve Adams.
Hello, and thank you for this opportunity. I didn't plan on speaking when I came, so I jotted things down. I hope it comes out okay. My name is Steve Adams. My wife and I send our daughter to L'Étoile du Nord, and it is a wonderful school. It's a jewel of the St. Paul school system. It truly is. And here are my impressions of the superintendent's proposal as it relates to the proposed move of the school. There are at least 3 relevant issues that need reevaluation. Transportation, physical appropriateness of the proposed facility, and the school's place in the community as a whole. On the first point, the open school site, which is the proposed home for L'Étoile du Nord, is fairly close to the current location, so it seems to me the improvements in busing will be marginal at best, and but however, whatever transportation gains might be realized in busing will be negated by lack of adjacent parking, which will greatly inhibit student drop-off by parents. Secondly, the proposed open school facility is smaller, too small even for the current student population, let alone the larger student body, that is anticipated as LNFI adds grades. In conclusion, this seems like a step backwards for the program. And lastly, moving the school will harm the east side. This may not be a concern for parents west of its current location, but east siders really have a hard time accepting the sacrifice where there appears that there is no ulterior benefit to the program itself. In this point in particular, the conclusion I come to is this is disenfranchisement of a neighborhood, and it will potentially decrease diversity in the school. And so lastly, I mean, I look at it and I ask myself, can this move and the consequent disruption be justified? Looking at it from the standpoint of a parent of this particular school, if what I just read is true, no, it cannot be justified.
Thank you very much
for
your comments. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am now going to return to those persons who have signed up to speak regarding Four Seasons. And I'll begin on that list again. The first 3 speakers would be Alicia Bertrall, Rocky Vandell, Julie Murphy, and I guess we'll go 4, Moore Bridget. Again, Alicia Bertrall, Rocky Vandell, Julia Murphy, and it's printed Moore Bridget. Now, it may be Bridget Moore. Okay, thank you. So, Alicia first. Welcome.
It's Alicia Bertrand.
Alicia, thank you.
And my daughter had a question. Her name was also on that slip. Winter.
She she may be on another one here.
Oh, okay.
But the last name is Winter?
Yes. No, first name Winter, same last name. The woman said put both of our names on the same piece of paper.
Well, please speak, and I'll just keep looking.
Okay, that's good. Hi. I am a proud parent of two wonderful children, one of 7 years going, one in his 4th year. This school, to me, has been more than just a school. Growing up, I was another head, another check on the list who was here for the day. In this school, I know that my children are known, and when they leave my home, they enter another. I feel safe with my children at this school, that they are learning, they're thriving. It has been shown that children thrive through arts and music, that they seem to kind of stay out of trouble when they have those extra curriculum activities. It's also wonderful that it is all year round, but if it had to change that way, I would do so, but I would not want to change anyone who is in our school. These teachers and these faculty have made this school not only a school, but a home. This year, March of 2010, was informed by a Ramsey County Family Court judge that said how important the stability of a school is to our children. And I feel if we break that up and close those doors and separate, we're not only separating a school, we are separating a home. Because these children aren't just children here. They're everyone's children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. I will add Winter's name to the list, and so I'll cue her up towards the end there. Thank you very much. Okay, Rocky Benda.
Thank you. My name is Rocky, and unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of living in the community as we spend 2 hours a day in rush hour traffic because we chose to come to Four Seasons. I'm a successful business owner, so I certainly understand the terminologies utilized here. I understand repeatable and reliable performance. I understand sustainability. I also understand ROI to the point every time you see it, it's in capital letters. Return on investment. I also understand it is very difficult to put a number to quantify the smile of a child. September 2006, McMaster University, in partnership with Rotman Research Institute, found through an MEG brain scanning technology showed that those children who took lessons in music and the arts showed more changes in brain responses. The study found particular changes in attentional systems of children that affected their ability to pay attention to things that are important around them. Things that happen at Four Seasons. We have phenomenal teachers here. We have music. We have art. We have leadership. We have leadership that is so passionate, I can't help but look at these people and say, where were you when I was a kid? I'm serious. It's fantastic. We have it all here at Four Seasons Elementary. Please vote yes to keep our school here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Julie Murphy. Welcome, Ms. Murphy.
Good evening. I'm Julie Murphy, and I'm Director of Family and Youth Programs at West 7th Community Center. And we have an after-school program for students in kindergarten through 8th grade, and over half of our students come from Four Seasons School. That wasn't always the case. We have students that come from 12 different schools, but Four Seasons is the school that really embraces community partnership and understands the value. And so over the last several years, the number of students coming to our program from Four Seasons has quadrupled or more, and that's because the teachers see the needs that their students have, and they look for opportunities in the community that can help them, and they refer families and students to programs that they really need. So I know you're looking to embrace the new model of learning campuses within the city, and Four Seasons really embodies that spirit more than any other school that we've worked with to date. Also, the students that come to our program from Four Seasons are really the leaders in our program. Four Seasons has a wonderful curriculum, and it gives students self-confidence and leadership. They learn poise, and they really shine within our program. I think that you've mentioned not wanting St. Paul to have just pockets of excellence. However, Four Seasons really does shine as a school that is a pocket of excellence. I would think that you would want to grow and replicate that throughout the school district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Ms. Moore.
Good evening. My name is Bridget Moore. I'm a proud parent of a Four Seasons first grader, and I fully intended to send my son to be a pre-K student with Miss Manners, whose room he already recognizes because of every after-school program that we go to. I want to share something with you that is instilled in my daughter every day that she attends Four Seasons in her morning meeting. The United Nations Peace Pledge. I am a peacemaker. I treat myself and others with respect. I listen. I share. I care for the earth, air, water, plants, and animals. I am important to this very big world. I know peace begins with me. There's then a pause where, as a class, they also say together, we are a family, and family takes care of family. There's low turnover in staff and students. My daughter's first grade teacher has been there from day one. The message that they share not only strengthens our students, it strengthens their character, it strengthens how they react to our community locally and globally. The staff not only bring passion and enthusiasm to the classroom, many also entrust their counterparts to educate their own children. Four Seasons is already a strong school. To eliminate it would weaken the St. Paul community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Moore. Now, is Winter here at this time? Winter Bertrell? Is she here at this time? Okay. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Hi, my name's Winter Bertrand. I've been going to Four Seasons School since I was in kindergarten. My brother's been going there since pre-K. I'm in 6th grade right now, so it's my 7th year. It's his 4th. I was in, last year, when I was in 5th grade, we did a K-Man music and dance. It was to go with learning about people from back then and everything. And if it wasn't for Four Seasons right now, I wouldn't be up here. They helped me up here. I don't like public speaking. I really don't. We do a musical every year. And in 4th grade, I got a lead role with Flora Klein. She helped me through it. She was one of my best friends. And they're very welcoming, and they helped me with everything. And they're my family. When I learned that they were closing, me and my best friend started crying. And when I was in 1st grade, when I sang through my nose. My dad could go like that to me, and it sounded like I was speaking in an alien voice. My music teacher helped me through that. I don't sing like that anymore. Believe me, I don't. My dance teacher, I didn't know that I truly loved dancing until I was in dance ensemble. I made all my new friends, and when I learned that they were closing, I wasn't happy because I wouldn't be able to go back there and remember all my memories, and more people wouldn't be able to experience it, and my brother wouldn't be able to go up to 6th grade. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bertrand. The next 4 individuals, of course, will have to follow Winter. And so Daryl Bagenstos, you're going to have to follow her first. And then Jennifer Chiscareño, Paul Fromm, and then Erica Kaufelt. So this helps with having a handout. Okay. Okay, thanks. Make sure the secretary gets one, please.
This is Daryl, isn't it? We'll have all of us singing in a few minutes.
Well, if you want me to, we can do that. This is hard to hear all this because you never really know what you do until people start talking about it. I put together some ideas for you because I could talk all day about how much I love these families and these kids. First option on the list is these are all opportunities to strengthen and grow our community, which I and the parents have wanted to do since day one. Option number 1 is move us into the downtown building with the Arts High School that only has about 100 or 300 kids coming from Open. We could have a full K-12 unique experience right there downtown. The building's already going to be put into use. We can join right and we'd complete a unique K-12 arts experience centrally located for a district magnet. We could be walking distance from all of our many partners and walk to more new partners: Ordway, Science Museum, Children's Museum, Town Square. The current staff can bring our arts expertise and help expand this wonderful arts experience all the way to 12th grade. These 3 programs could economically merge together, saving tons of money for the district. Previously and successfully housed pre-K to 8 at that building for Saturn or Wellstone, and it's designed to go through 12th grade. It's already ready. It's climate controlled, so it could still have us as a year-round possibility within that building. Young students don't drive and park, so you wouldn't have to have as many parking fees for your parking ramp down there. Another option, actually that was serious, but I didn't look for that one there. Longfellow is another building that lies open. We could be a K-5 school there that would follow the new district plan. We could expand to 3 classes per grade level, probably fill that building up with our pre-K. Another way to strengthen the arts for all of our kids is to move Linwood Elementary to a K-5, change the Monroe Middle back to 6-8, so that our kids could join then the Linwood kids at Monroe 6-8. If you go a K-5 option there, that includes, and then all of our kids could then go to the downtown 9-12. Another option is to put us in Longfellow and be a K-8, where we'll move we can have 2 classes per grade level and then move to downtown arts for 9 through 12. Or put us in Longfellow as a K-12. I don't think that building's big enough for that option that I've listed with numbers, but it's still another option.
Actually, thank you for your time. The
Okay.
buzzer has sounded, but
There's more options?
we have all the
Thank you.
options. And so thank you very much. And that was very wise preparation because we will have all of these notes for each one of us. Thank you very much. Okay, Jennifer Tiscareño. Hello, welcome.
I love this school because it's a cool place because there's dance and music and theater. And I love this place.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
I'm Jennifer Tiscareño, and I'm the mother of Carla and Samantha, who's in 5th grade. We started at Webster, and we were on the waiting list for kindergarten at 4 Seasons. And the change in my daughter after 2 weeks at Webster to 4 Seasons was unbelievable. We live in Highland Park of St. Paul, and we have been looking at our options for schools, and we actually had decided to move until Carla here saw the musical and decided that she was going to be a lead. And she told me that if I moved that I'd have to leave her with Grandma because she was going to stay and be a lead at the musical. And if the Four Seasons program does leave, we will no longer live in the St. Paul community. We've looked at our options and decided that what we'd pay in private school, we might as well move to Minnetonka, where they have the best scores and better options for our students, our children. Thank you.
Paul Fromm. Thank you very much for the written copy. Okay.
My name is Paul Prom. Superintendent, members of the St. Paul Public School Board, thank you for this opportunity for us to speak tonight. We are here to discuss the abrupt announcement of the closing of Four Seasons A+ Elementary. Four Seasons is a unique arts magnet school that allows children from all over St. Paul to attend this unique school, regardless of location, ethnic, or social economic status. There's no academic placement, testing, or language requirement to attend this school. All are welcome. It is not an elitist school. It is the antithesis of elitism. Because students from all over St. Paul attend this school, it helps unify St. Paul neighborhoods. Students have friends in Cherokee Heights, Dayton Bluff, Marion Park, as well as this West 7th neighborhood. You'll be hard-pressed to find a more diverse enrollment in any St. Paul public school. Parents who choose Four Seasons know that their students receive outstanding commitment to the education and well-being of their child. Children learn to act up, but not to act out. This student school is different from all other schools. The faculty knows all students by first name and the parents by their last. All students are taught in a peaceful, respectful environment. There's equal opportunity for all for achievement. There are some other specialized schools in St. Paul where the requirements for attendance and transportation will make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, for many parents to send their children to the school they desire. My options, or our options now, are Monroe, St. Francis, St. James, homeschool, or a charter school. We could look at other schools, but since the decision to close Four Seasons was made after the school fair, we are left scrambling. We're asking the board to find a way to keep the opportunity of Four Seasons A+ alive by combining it with another school or allowing it to move to another location. Public schools need to compete with private, public charter, and home schools. We in St. Paul will be less competitive when we take away choices that so many deserve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prom. Erica Kaufeld. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Erica Kofelt. I'm another proud parent of a Four Seasons student. My son Sam is in kindergarten. I am a parent who cares about education more than anything. I voted for all of you because knowing that my child would be under your choices. And I think one of the things that makes schools so successful is parent involvement. And you can see by who's here tonight, we care. We really care, and we're very passionate about our school. It works. It's doing a great job. My son is happy. He loves to go to school every day. You walk down, I drop my kid off at school every day, and I see the other students. They're smart. They're respectful. They treat each other just unbelievable. Things I don't see when I go to visit other St. Paul schools. And things I just feel like this is so important. And so I just want to say we're open to change. We're just not open to this ending. If we need to change grades, if we need to change locations, if we need to, we're open. Just don't dismiss us yet. We're working, and we want to do better, and we want to keep going, and I want my son to stay at Four Seasons and not end up, I've applied at 2 charter schools already because the choices that I find acceptable for my child other than Four Seasons have attendance preference, and I am at the bottom of that list. So my chance of getting him into first grade at any of those schools aren't going to happen. So I have to look outside of the district or outside of St. Paul Public Schools, which would break my mother's heart. I love St. Paul schools. I started my life in St. Paul schools, and I want to support them. And please, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Coca. Our next speaker is Margarito Tiscareño. Margarito Tiscareño. David Fredericks and Anna Logan. Welcome.
Good evening. Oops, sorry.
It's okay.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
I'm not a good speaker here. 13 years ago, I came to this country looking for a good future. I'm the proud father of Carla and Samantha. Unfortunately, I'm here listening to everybody crying for help. My kid has been shifted around just to fit in a budget. That doesn't make any sense to me. We're fighting here for education. I came here for a good future. I thought I had it. I want you to explain my 5-year-old daughter that when she told me Martin Luther King defend the rights, and if you talk loud enough, you get listened. Tell her that we are not getting listened in here. I want you to explain my kindergarten that she will not have a school. The facts are there. Everybody's telling you this school works. We can grow. Not sure if it doesn't get in everybody else's head in here. But it doesn't mine. It doesn't everybody out there. I just feel like I'm being lied. That's all I can tell. And it doesn't get into my head when somebody talks about budget. Last time I checked, my kids pay everybody else's salary. My kids does. And they should not be punished for it. They want this school open, and I believe the budget should be cut from the top, not from the bottom. Thank you.
David Fredericks.
My name is David Fredericks. I'm a lifetime St. Paul resident. Been involved in St. Paul Public Schools for over 30 years, either as a student, an uncle, and now a father. Okay. I have 2 children who are currently going to Four Seasons, and I have 2 more that I plan on attending Four Seasons. I'm being that positive. They're going into the 4-year-old program. We hear a lot about our arts that we offer at this school. And sometimes people hear about schools that offer arts, and they think, well, that's a school for kids with, privileged or elite. I'm here to tell you, I like to think of Four Seasons as an elite school because we offer the best of what we have. But we're not an elite school because we're elitists. We give every child an opportunity to participate and learn. You hear a lot about the kids talking about how much they love to dance and sing, and I think people have visions of their mind, the movie Fame at the elementary level. I have a daughter who loves science, and she's learned to love science through the arts. Unfortunately, that full-time science teacher got cut last year. So, we're doing what we can to help her learn more and more about the science. And we know for a girl to be in love with the science, we want to push that. And I think Four Seasons helps. As a father of 4 girls, Four Seasons helps my daughters feel positive about themselves in a learning experience when it comes to math and science, using dance and the arts. I think Four Seasons meets everything that you have on your agenda, Superintendent. We are there. Allow us to flourish, become bigger and better, and we can outshine anything you have right now. We could be the example of the district, the model, what we can be built upon, and make the district better. But we're not given that chance because we're given in by those 4 walls. Give us something bigger, and we'll show you what we can do for you that will make the district bigger. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fredericks. Our next speaker is Anna Logan. Welcome, Ms. Logan.
Hi, my name is Anna Logan. I am the theater teacher at Four Seasons A+ Elementary School. And I'd like to ask all of you who are sitting here now, because you're starting to look a little bored, How could you imagine as an 8-year-old child spending your whole day sitting like this with people talking at you over and over? If we cut our arts, if we discontinue this program, the opportunity to return that to our school is almost impossible. I'm going to tell you about my experience because that's about all I can talk about. I am the teacher who feels joyful when the wiggliest, smart aleck, stand-up wannabe walks through my door because I know she will find success in my room. I am the teacher who feels just pride when the quietest, bookworm, wallflower walks through my door because I know he too will find success in my room. Why? Because theater is a leveling ground. A child can be a poor reader, a child can struggle at math, and if they put their full effort into theater, they will succeed. They will gain courage, they will gain self-confidence, and they will wear that like a badge of pride back into our school, confident that they are learners, confident that they are capable of something that they set forth to do. Confident children are great learners. Am I bragging about theater alone? Not at all. I see children who bubble out of the art room deep in conversation about a favorite study on African masks or self-portraits. I see children who dance into the hall from the dance studio, giddy about learning the digestive system. I hear children singing into the hallway from music class, having partnered with their classroom teacher to create an opera about the Mississippi River. All that learning, all that artistic, multiple intelligence, whole body, joyful learning creates lifetime learners. And isn't that what St. Paul Public Schools is all about? Lifetime learners.
Now, our next speakers did not provide a last name, so I'm going to believe that these may be students. It says Carla and Sam and Anya. Okay. Now, each one of you wants to talk? Okay. So please tell us your name as you come. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carla, and I'm a student at Four Seasons A+ Elementary. And I don't want the school to close because that's let me open up and actually prove to myself that I can do something. And I love that school so much because everybody there is like a family to me. And for you guys to close it, it'll be the worst thing ever. Because I actually want the pre-K to come there to 6th grade and see how wonderful it is. And see how much art they can learn and how much math they can learn. I went from a 2nd grade reading level all the way to 8th grade now. And that was just in like a few months. And my teacher, Miss Minna, she's the most wonderful teacher I ever had.
Thank you very much, Carla.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I also go to Four Seasons with my friend Carla. We are the closest friends, and we both love choir and theater and dance and art as much as we love our family. Please don't shut it down.
Thank you very much, Samantha. And then Anya? You don't want to talk? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for speaking with us tonight. Jabrea Farmer. Welcome. It's okay to have a helper. That's just fine. Okay.
This is my daughter, Shabria. She's been going to Four Seasons since she was in Miss Manner's pre-K class. She started there since my younger sisters and brothers have gone there, and they have moved on up to Washington. My son, he has just started Miss Manner's class this year. He has been so excited to go there since he's seen his big sister get on the bus for Four Seasons. And every year he has been excited to say, do I get to go to my sister Shabria's school, Four Seasons? So she wrote, I've gone to Four Seasons for as long as I can remember. Some people in my class used to say that they hate this school, But when they found out the news, they started around crying, and then I asked my best friend, do you really hate this school? And she said, I didn't mean it, what I said, and this is the only school I've been to ever since pre-K, and nobody knows the things I know about this school.
No, don't do that.
And the secrets I've learned. You want to say something?
No.
All right, thank you very much, Brea, for your comments. That concludes the list from Four Seasons. I now would like to invite Mary Kate Boylan to come speak to us. She is from Open World. And Mary Kate, if you wouldn't mind, maybe I can do the announcement one more time about those community meetings. Okay. Because we do know that some children need to go get baths and go to bed. Again, that there will be a community meeting at Open School this coming Monday, January 24th, from 6 to 7, and then at Four Seasons on Wednesday, January 26th, from 6 to 7. Thank you very much for noting those times, and also for allowing Mary Kate to allow me to give that announcement. But welcome.
Hi. My name again is Mary Kate Boylan. I'm a Highland Park resident, and I actually have 3 children at L'Etoile du Nord and 1 child at Open World Learning. My family, as you can imagine, is greatly affected by the changes the districts have proposed. I'm here tonight, however, to speak simply on the behalf of Open World Learning. I believe OWL is the best kept secret in the district, and unfortunately, perhaps the most misunderstood. It is a good school on the cusp of becoming a great school, just as LNFI was when we enrolled our oldest there in the 2002-2003 school year. The switch at Open World Learning to an expeditionary learning school this year is too new to be adequately measured by test scores. I can tell you, though, at 2 recent open houses for prospective students, every chair was full. I spoke with a student who is currently at Laura Jeffries Charter School. Another was a St. Paul couple who had already decided to transfer their Twin Cities Academy student back to OWL, along with their Adams 6th grader. There were also scads of other families from Adams, including 5 who were looking for an alternative to the large junior high program at Highland Park. The school is also getting district and national attention for its cutting-edge standards-based grading. I believe making an OWL a 6th to 12th grade school fills an important competitive niche for the district against charter schools by providing a small to medium-sized middle school and high school option, while still fitting the district's model of moving to a middle school rather than a junior high model. The discussion here tonight, clearly by the Four Seasons families, indicates there's a strong role for a medium to small middle school program. I would urge you to put some creative thinking on to look if there's other ways of reformulating Open World Learning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it seems that there are a couple more parents who would like to speak regarding Four Seasons. So I would like to invite Olivia Logan and Kathy Gonzalez to join us. Welcome, Olivia.
Thank you. My name is Olivia Logan. I'm in 6th grade at Four Seasons. As a student of Four Seasons, I know that this is a great family. Everyone is supporting everyone else at all times, and I want you to know what this school means to me and the other students at my great school. I came to the Four Seasons family in 1st grade, and I knew right away that it was the school for me. Everyone made me feel welcome, and the teachers, all of them, knew who I was. I got to dance the digestive system. I've painted scientific charts. I've sung about American history and geography in class musicals. I've helped to create, and I've learned improvisational theater skills that have helped me become a really creative person. A really creative problem solver. But most importantly, I've become a part of a school family that supports me and loves me. I'm a part of a family that celebrates who I am as an elementary student and as part of a strong St. Paul community. Please don't close my school. Please give other kids a chance to learn in creative ways. Because when you dance the digestive system, you'll never forget it. Thank you.
Kathy Gonzalez.
Buenas tardes, good evening. I've been a parent at Four Seasons since 1998. Sorry, it's emotional for me. I love this school. My 6 kids, I have 7. 6 of them have attended Four Seasons. My oldest will graduate this year. My youngest is in the 4-year-old. This school is great. My 12-year-old, she had selective mutism. In elementary, the teachers were great. They worked with her. I mean, please, the school cannot close. You can move it. I will follow it. My kids will follow it. Please, I just ask, do something for the school. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now moving on to general topics. So those of you that were here with students, if you would choose now, this would be okay for you to leave. We're going to be addressing a couple of other, having a couple other speakers come to address us. And again, they will be on general topics. So I'll wait a second. Kevin Hoopner, if you would come up.